I'm Luke Summerhays, and I love Nacli. It's a common joke to suggest someone is boring in TV shows or movies by showing them watch a documentary about salt. The thing is, salt is genuinely really interesting. It's unique in being a rock which humans eat, and because it can dry out food, it allowed humans to preserve things outside of the seasons. Salt is one of the building blocks of civilization. Apocryphally, the word salary comes from the word salt, as it has been suggested that Roman soldiers were paid partially in salt. It's unknown if this is quite true, although salt was a valuable resource in the ancient world, and several other words, like salad, sausage, and even sauce, originate with salt. Nacli is the rock salt Pokémon, and takes the place as the main rock-type 3-stage family in Pokémon Scarlet and Violet. At my first glance, I thought the Pokémon looked a lot like the mushroom power-up from the Super Mario Bros. Games. Mario is a fundamental building block of the modern console game, just as salt is a building block of civilization. Nacli's Pokédex entries are aware of this history. Pokémon Scarlet tells us, "It was born in a layer of rock salt deep under the earth. This species was particularly treasured in the old days, as they would share precious salt." Pokémon Violet tells us, "The ground scrapes its body as it travels, causing it to leave salt behind. Salt is constantly being created and replenished inside Nacli's body." Nacli's name comes from the chemical formula for table salt, NaCl, amusingly a combination of two much more dangerous elements. The Japanese name, Kojio, means salt child. At level 24, this child grows up, when Nacli evolves into Naclstack. Naclstack is a quadrupedal animal-like creature, formed of cubic rocks and salts. It very strongly resembles a farm animal from Minecraft, one of few games that can honestly claim to have been as influential as Mario. In fact, Game Freak and Nintendo are on record as saying they decided it was okay for Pokémon to have twin-stick 3D controls because it had been normalized for all ages by Minecraft. The farm animal design is oddly appropriate, as salt is key in preserving meats. Naclstack's Pokédex even talks about the curing process. Pokémon Scarlet tells us, "This Pokémon dry cures its prey by spraying salt all over them. The process steals away the water in the prey's body." And Pokémon Violet tells us, "It compresses rock salt inside its body, and shoots out hardened salt pellets with enough force to perforate an iron sheet." The name, Naclstack, is obvious enough. The little Nacli is now a whole stack of salt. The Japanese name is Jiodzumu, and similarly means a stack of salt. At level 38, the salt is stacked even higher, when Naclstack evolves into Garganacl. Garganacl is a big humanoid golem with a pyramid-shaped body made of stacked salt and bricks. Salt was a key resource in the forming of the Egyptian kingdom, even contributing to the name of a region. And so this big Egyptian pyramid made of salt kind of makes a certain sense. As a child, if I had an ulcer or sore throat, my mum would tell me to gargle salt water. The turn of phrase, putting salt in the wound, is mostly about how painful that would be, but it is actually good for cleaning and healing an injury. Pokémon Scarlet tells us, "Garganacl will rub its fingertips together and sprinkle injured Pokémon with salt. Even severe wounds will promptly heal afterwards." And Pokémon Violet tells us, "Many Pokémon gather around Garganacl, hoping to lick at its mineral-rich salt." This has been reflected in-game, where Garganacl has proven to be a real defensive powerhouse. Appropriate for a Pokémon whose name comes from Gargantuan, or in the case of its Japanese name, Hyojion, giant. I may be a little cynical, but I have a suspicion that Game Freak decided to create a salt Pokémon to bury videos of Pokémon Showdown battles on search engines. Talk of salty trainers is rife on YouTube, but now when you search Pokémon Salt, you're probably just going to get Nacli. Whatever the actual motivation, I think this was a cool way to do the Rock-type family a little differently. Music for Luke Loves Pokémon is by Jonathan Cromie. Artwork for the show is by Katie Groves. The Nacli family was designed by Hitoshi Ariga. Writing, producing, and editing of this podcast is all by me, Luke Summerhays, and funding is provided by lovely listeners at patreon.com/podcastiopodcastius. I love it when you guys get in touch. Hit me up on Twitter or Facebook at LukeLovesPKMN and let me know your thoughts about our next monsters, Charcadet and Tadpole, or share your love for any Pokémon. On Friday nights from 8 PM UK time, you can catch my Pokémon streams at twitch.tv/LukeLovesPKMN. And even if you don't feel like doing any of that, thank you so much just for listening. I love Nacli. And remember, I love you too.